1230 KXO El Centro.
I'm Ari Wolf with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Ben Roethlisberger's future in Pittsburgh is suddenly in doubt after comments made Wednesday by Steelers GM Kevin Colbert. The big issue appears to be Big Ben's big cap number of $41 million.
As we sit here today, Ben is a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He reiterated that to us, that he wants to continue to play. And we told him, quite frankly, we have to look at this current situation.
Elsewhere, after speaking with the Niners, corner Richard Sherman tells the Sacramento Bee, quote, "It's been made pretty clear," end quote, that he won't be back in San Francisco next season. The Jaguars will have a new look under new head coach Urban Meyer. The team says they'll now wear teal jerseys instead of black ones at home next season. And Alvin Kamara is extending his need for speed. The Saints running back in his easy chain of juice bars will be sponsoring the number 6 NASCAR Chevrolet, driven by Ryan Vargas. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
More time at home means more washing, drying, cooking, and cleaning, and more wear and tear on old appliances. But it's the perfect time to save on new ones at the Home Depot. For savings on the latest appliances, and right now free delivery from the kitchen to the laundry room, that upgrade is well within reach, and closer than ever. Save on top appliances, now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last. Free delivery on major appliances, $396 or more, valid through February 24th.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. With 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 branches. Click Grainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, the Imperial Valley's AM 1230 KXO El Centro, California. That would be us, right, Gene?
That would be us.
Okay, live and local, the way radio should be.
That's right.
Okay. Did you hear about this? Researchers have recovered the oldest DNA ever found from a mammoth, more than 1 million years old. Kind of exciting, don't you think?
Yeah.
Well, they've got that DNA, and just like in the movies, they can cross that DNA with maybe a modern elephant.
Yeah, or a chicken.
And, well, imagine a chicken and a mammoth. Imagine the wings you would get.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah, and the drumsticks.
Imagine the scrambled eggs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, there has been talk, and I know there has been some experimental work in crossing DNA of the mammoth with the elephant.
Mm-hmm.
And mammoths were on the earth up until about 10,000 years ago. You know, when you look at time in the universe, that's not that long ago.
Just a flutter of the eyelids.
Yes, man and the mammoth did coexist on Earth.
That's what they say.
Yes. Anyway, I think that would be interesting. I think maybe they ought to, you know, put together a breeding herd of mammoths and release them in the forest of the Chocolate Mountain here in Imperial Valley.
Yeah, to stamp out something. I'm not sure what. But
those pesky little horn-tailed lizards.
Yeah, that stomping movement would be quite incredible.
Yeah. Are you ready for birthdays?
Birthdays, the big shots, I assume.
Okay. Now, on my list, it says vocalist Yoko Ono.
I know. That's always been a loose use of terms.
Yeah. Yoko Ono is 88 today. Singer Herman Santiago of Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, 80. Singer Irma Thomas, 80. Actor Jess Walton, 75. Dennis DeYoung, lead singer of Styx, 74. Actress Sybil Shepherd, 71. Drummer Robbie Bachman of Bachman Turner Overdrive. Guess which one he was?
I'm not really sure.
Oh, Okay, give it some thought.
Yeah, I got
okay. Actor John Travolta is 67. His toupee is 38.
Is old.
Yeah. Actor John Pankow is 66. Vanna White is 64. Let's turn those vowels, Vanna. Actress Jane Atkinson, 62. Actress Greta Schatzi is 61. Actor Matt Dillon, 57. Dr. Dre, 56. Molly Ringwald, 53. Actor Ike Barinholtz is 44. Actor Christopher Polala is 44. Sean Watkins of Nickel Creek, 44. Actor Tyrone Burton, 42. Other birthdays, actor Shane Lyons, 33. Actress Sarah Sutherland, 33. Actor Mayara Walsh is 33. Local birthdays coming up. The Imperial Valley Food Bank needs your help. Food insecurity is on the rise, especially in the Imperial Valley. The need for the Imperial Valley Food Bank's backpack program has more than doubled during the pandemic. Through this program, schools distribute backpacks with needed items to make sure no kid or family goes hungry during the weekend when no school food service is available. It's tough enough to be a kid. They don't need to have hunger be an issue. Become a hunger warrior. Donate to the Imperial Valley Food Bank and the Backpack Program. We're celebrating our KXO birthdays. Happy birthday, Angelina Barros, Eric Phillips, Michelle Solario, Dave Vance, Luli Ramirez, Adriana Aguirre, Luis Gonzalez, Veronica Bielma, Lorena Mulvihill, Rebecca Tharp Silva, Simon Robles, Jonathan Quintero, Bianca Garcia, Frank Delfino, Genaro Mercado, Lisa Monzon, Maria Zaragoza, Melissa Alvarado, Nora Sanchez, Patricia Calderon, and my grandson, Timothy Warren Lonis III. JJ is 17.
He's a cold 17.
He is JJ is probably bundled up with bare feet playing one of his video games.
Cold, though.
Yeah.
It's cold where he is. Cold.
Well, in Omaha this time of year, you don't go out of the house.
Yeah, you get cabin fever.
Yep. Anyway, JJ missing, let's see, soccer, basketball, and baseball. He hasn't been able to play.
Yeah, he and umpteen other Jillian kids, boy. That's too bad.
Kind of tough.
Tough.
Major League Baseball, well, pitchers and catchers have reported the Major League Baseball looking to get started April 1st. Let's hope it's not an April Fool's joke.
Yes.
Okay. And did you hear Fernando Tatis? His kid's 22 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They signed him to a 14-year, $340 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Fernando, buddy, can you loan me a couple of bucks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just till payday, okay?
He's a rookie, huh?
Well, last year he was, yes.
Now he's a seasoned veteran with a big paycheck.
Well, let's go with the big paycheck. You know, in my mind, it's like the NFL quarterbacks. They have benighted so many, 1 and 2 year NFL quarterbacks. They're heading to the Hall of Fame. Let's see where they are in 6 or 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
lost on the freeway somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere, yeah. Okay, are you ready for real news?
Real news is coming up.
Okay, a look at World and California news headlines right now, brought to you this morning by Lock Air Conditioning, your year-round comfort specialist.
CBS News Brief. Power is slowly returning in Texas. Outages from this week's storm are down to fewer than 500,000 customers, but many are still under boil water advisories because of closed treatment plants.
No water. It's real bad. And I have a 7-year-old, and it's tough.
A new winter storm is bringing more ice and snow snow to the north in mid-Atlantic states. WTOP's John Doman near D.C.
Early on this morning, I-270 was a sheet of ice. Cars going 30 miles per hour were struggling to keep their wheels straight and not skid out a little bit. Things have gotten better.
Thanks to the pandemic, the U.S. has lost a whole year of life expectancy. CBS's Jennifer Kuiper.
Life expectancy dropped a full year in the first half of 2020. That according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which says minorities suffered the biggest impact, with Black Americans losing nearly 3 years and Hispanics nearly 2 years. You have to go back to World War II to find a decline like this.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Whatever the weather brings this winter, you can rely on a York Affinity Premium system to keep your home warm and comfortable. You'll get maximum efficiency thanks to advanced technology and helping to significantly reduce your energy bills. Plus, you can stay connected via our Wi-Fi enabled touchscreen thermostat. Every York unit is designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States and backed by industry-leading warranties. Affordable financing options are available. Call Lock Air Conditioning, your local York dealer, at 760-353-4501. That's 353-4501 to schedule a free evaluation of your system. York, install confidence. Contractor's license 696216.
Fly News, Governor Gavin Newsom's nation site in the Coachella Valley, praising local farmers for continuing their essential work during the pandemic.
But also to recognize our unique responsibility to do more and do better to support them. And you know, frankly, we haven't done enough.
Newsom says he's reached an agreement with California lawmakers on a multi-billion-dollar COVID relief package. Small businesses can apply for a grant of up to $25,000 if they've been financially impacted by COVID-19. Doctors at UCSF studying and trying to understand why COVID-19 keeps mutating.
One of the approaches we're taking is to try to find drugs that will target the human proteins that the virus needs to infect our cells.
Dr. Devin Krogan says they've identified about 350 human proteins which they think the virus needs in order to infect us. They're trying to figure out which drugs can fight them. Officials investigating if DMV data shared with a company that helps verify registration addresses was compromised by a malware attack. Jeff Scott, California News.
World in California News headlines brought to you this morning by Lock Air Conditioning, your year-round comfort specialist. Schedule a preseason air conditioner checkup now.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. A Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 6677 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 6677. Enjoy.
And it's page one of the local news, a service of Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers in Brawley and El Centro. Quick Lane, they service all makes and all models, and you never need an appointment.
Taking a look at the latest in local news for a Thursday morning. On Wednesday of this week, a team of 3 personnel and 2 human remains detection canines from the Orange County Fire Authority's Urban Search and Rescue Team arrived in El Centro to assist in the search for human remains at the Mayan Hotel. The vacant hotel was heavily damaged on the night of February the 13th. During the incident, firefighters aggressively pushed against deteriorating fire conditions and attempted an interior search and fire attack, but were driven back by the dangerous environment in the structure's interior. Yesterday, an organized search of the rubble was accomplished with canines to aid in canvassing the heavily damaged structure. The canine team led the search and helped pinpoint areas of interest that firefighters painstakingly searched by hand and with power tools and other equipment. After a search of places of interest, personnel did not uncover any human remains. personnel from the City of Imperial Fire Department, the Imperial County Fire Department, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the Orange County Fire Authority, American Red Cross, AMR Ambulance, City of El Centro Code Enforcement Division, City of El Centro Public Works, and the City of El Centro's Engineering Division assisted at the scene. No injuries to personnel were reported. Well, in other local news, the COVID numbers continue to trend downward. George Gale explains.
Active cases of COVID-19 are down. The latest numbers were released by the County Public Health Department. According to the new numbers, active cases of COVID-19 in Imperial County are at 360, 16 less than what was reported on Tuesday. The death toll remains at 584. There are now 29 COVID-19 patients hospitalized in Imperial County. That's one less than on Tuesday. The new cases per day per 100,000 population is at 18.71, down from 19.75 reported on Tuesday. Positivity rate has also decreased slightly. It is now at 18.03% as compared to the previous 18.66%. For KXO Local News, I'm George Gale.
We'll be back with a look at the weather.
Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers have the best price on name brand tires sold at Quick Lane, guaranteed. Just ask your Quick Lane service advisor. Now we're talking the best brands available: Michelin, Continental, Pirelli, Dunlap, Kelly, Bridgestone, and more. And we're talking the best price. Quick Lane Tire and Auto Centers service all make models, and you never need an appointment. Quick Lane in the Brawley Auto Center, Highway 86 in Julia Drive, and on Imperial Avenue next to Food for Less in El Centro.
Another road closure in the Imperial County, Forester Road from Imler Road to Keystone, that has begun and will continue until further notice. You are encouraged to find an alternate route. Well, fatal injury victim identified. George Gale filed this story.
It was a single vehicle. It happened Friday noon on Interstate 8 near Incopah. California Highway Patrol received a report of a vehicle on fire. When they arrived, they found a Ford F-150 fully engulfed, with the driver still inside. A driver was later identified as a 53-year-old Charles Parker of San Diego. Imperial County Fire responded to the call, and they extinguished the fire. Parker was dead at the scene. It is suspected the driver suffered fatal injuries after the pickup veered off the roadway and collided into some rocks. CHP is investigating to determine why the vehicle veered off the roadway. For KXO Local News, I'm George Gale.
And that concludes this edition of Local News. Stay with us, though, for Page 2.
Page 1 of the Local News, a service of Tire and Auto Centers in Brawley and El Centro. Quick Lane, they service all makes and all models, and you never need an appointment.
Kokopah Casino is open for business 20 hours a day and committed to your safety. Play in comfort and cleanliness on the Kokopah Casino floor, featuring all your favorite games, properly spaced and meeting social distancing guidelines. Relax and play at the friendliest casino in Yuma, making sure you're comfortable with constant disinfection, safety precautions, and welcoming smiles for your visit. Winning is just around the corner at Kokopah Casino and Resort, Highway 95 in Somerton.
Page 2 of the Local News and Weather, brought to you by David H. West Insurance Services. See David or Jose for health insurance plans and Medicare supplemental coverage. David H. West Insurance Services.
Continuing with more local news, Border Patrol agents seize narcotics at the border fence. Here's more in the story.
It had apparently been thrown over the border fence. Remote surveillance system operators observed several individuals throwing objects over the fence near the intersection of Heffernan Avenue and First Street in Calexico. Agents working the downtown Calexico area responded to the scene and found 3 packages lying on the ground. The contents of the packages later tested positive for methamphetamine. Drugs weighed 5.27 pounds and were valued at around $13,182. Narcotics were turned over to the Drug Enforcement Administration. For KXO Local News, I'm George Gale.
Updated information on schools reopening. Here's more on that story. The Imperial County Department of Public Health and Imperial County Office of Education have shared information on reopening of elementary schools in the county. The adjusted case rate necessary to allow the reopening of elementary schools is 25 per 100,000, and El Centro and Imperial County is currently at 18.4. So far, 3 local elementary schools have submitted COVID safety plans to the Public Health Department and to the state of California. Following state guidelines, grades K through 6 can reopen for in-person instruction in counties where the case rate is below 25 per 100,000 residents for 5 days. Imperial County reached that milestone on February the 12th. Dr. Todd Fennell said Imperial County Office of Education remains committed to guiding and supporting our local districts in addressing the impacts of COVID-19. The road ahead for our schools will be challenging on many fronts long after students have returned to campus. We look forward to working together to serve our students, families, and communities. Possible homicide at Ironwood Prison. George Gale explains.
It is being investigated as a possible homicide. Officials say the death at the Ironwood State Prison in Blythe came several days following a fight. 44-year-old Henry Reyes was found unconscious and bleeding in his cell earlier this month. Officers restrained Reyes' cellmate and placed him in segregated housing pending an investigation. In the meantime, medical staff performed life-saving measures on Reyes, who was then transported to an outside hospital for a higher level of treatment. Reyes died from his injuries a couple of days later. Reyes had been in prison since 2014 after being convicted of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and criminal threat to cause great bodily injury or death. The incident remains under investigation. For KXO Locals, I'm George Gale.
El Centro Animal Control is investigating the circumstances of a cat that was burned. The cat was found in the middle of an apartment complex with extensive burns. The cat appeared to have been hiding in the complex laundry room. The animal control officer took the feline to a local veterinarian who had to euthanize the cat. According to the vet, it appeared that the cat had been burned several days earlier. This is at least the second incident in El Centro involving what appears to be someone burning a cat. Both incidents remain under investigation. We'll be back with a look at the weather.
It's nice to explore your options when it comes to buying insurance, no matter what you're looking for. David H. West Insurance Services offers it all. And being an independent broker, we have many companies to choose from. We continue providing Medicare, life, and health plans, and now offer auto, home, and commercial insurance. David H. West Insurance Services can find the right insurance to fit your needs and budget. And best of all, a staff who cares about you. So don't hesitate to pick up the phone and call David H. West Insurance Service at 760-352-3411. That's 352-3411 for a free insurance review. That's 352-3411.
Here's Carroll Buckley with the weather update.
The National Weather Service, high pressure building into the region through tomorrow, will boost temperatures to slightly above normal starting Friday, lasting through the coming weekend. A passing dry weather disturbance over the weekend will bring a return to breezy conditions, but clear to mostly clear skies will remain. Stronger high pressure is likely to affect the region for the first half of next week, likely to top 80 degrees early in the week in the Imperial and Yuma valleys. Dry conditions are expected to prevail at least through early next week. 72 our high yesterday, 42 the low. Sunny today with a high near 69. West-northwest wind 5 to 15 miles an hour, becoming north in the afternoon with gusts as high as 20 miles an hour. Mostly clear tonight with a low around 43. West wind about 5 miles an hour. Friday will be sunny with a high near 74. Light wind. Saturday, sunny with a high near 80. Light west wind becoming west-northwest 10 to 15 miles an hour in the afternoon. Winds could gust as high as 20 miles an hour. It'll be sunny on Sunday with a high near 76. North wind 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts as high as 20 miles an hour. 50 degrees downtown, 30% relative humidity. Page 2 of the news. A service of David East Insurance Services. See David or Jose for life insurance, health insurance, or retirement planning. It's sports time. Yes, sports time. Brought to you this morning by Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District, an affiliate of the Scripps Health Network, working together to provide best care. NBA action, the Magic mauled the Knicks 107-89. Hawks hammered the Celtics 122-114. 76ers over the Rockets 118-113. Wizards the Nuggets 130-128. Pacers overtime topped the Timberwolves 134-128. Bulls slid by the Pistons 105-102. The Trailblazers nipped the Pelicans 126-124. Grizzlies over the Thunder 122-113. Warriors in overtime got by the Heat 120-112. Jazz jumped on the Clippers 114-96. Spurs and Cavaliers postponed.
Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District is open and ready to serve you and your family for all your healthcare needs. Let our team of dedicated physicians guide you on your journey to better health. Pioneers is a recognized leader in healthcare and has more than 10 health centers and clinics throughout the Imperial Valley. When the need arises, don't hesitate to come and see us. We have services and locations in Calexico and Brawley, and of course, award-winning hospital, Pioneers. For more information on all of Pioneer services, visit pmhd.org today.
Well, pitchers and catchers have emerged from hibernation and are now in spring training. But the big news, the San Diego Padres have bestowed Fernando Tatis Jr. with a 14-year, $340 million contract extension. Yeah, one of the guarantees in American sports history. So it looks like Tatis will be part of the Padres for a long time to come. Tim Tebow is retiring from baseball. Tim, yeah, you never really played the game. How can you retire? And the pitchers and catchers, as we said, in spring training right now. Position players report next week, and first pitch scheduled for April 1st. That's it for Sports Time, brought to you by Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District. Log on to pmhd.org for more information about Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District.
Last year was crazy. My hours were cut.
I was out of work for months. I need a better job.
At the Center for Employment Training, study for a career in construction or healthcare. Go to cetweb.edu. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, and we offer job placement assistance to graduates. All programs can be completed in under a year based on attendance. Go to cetweb.edu or call 760-592-0208 for CET. Work hard. Be strong.
Financial news and a brief look at the weather brought to you by Southwest Security, a locally owned security service protecting you and your property. They also offer live scan fingerprinting to the public. Another 861,000 workers filed for unemployment benefits for the first time last week. That's nearly 100,000 more claims than economists had predicted, and the highest number in a month. It was also an increase from the week before, which was revised higher as well. Meanwhile, Kroger says they will close 2 stores in Seattle after the city passed a $4 an hour hazardous pay requirement for grocery workers. It's an escalation of the grocery chain's push against newly passed hazard pay laws growing on the West Coast. The company, the largest grocery chain in the U.S., will close 2 of its QFC stores in April in response to the hazard pay measure. And what's happening on Wall Street right now? The Dow Jones Industrial's off about 217 points at 31,395. The S&P 500 at 3,900. That's down 30.5. NASDAQ is off 170 points at 13,786. Gold up $1.90 an ounce, and oil off 30 cents a barrel.
Southwest Security Company is a locally owned security company protecting your property or your business, and now offering live scan fingerprinting to the public. Plus, they added Southwest Postal with post office boxes you can access 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, with shipping services too, using DHL, UPS, and FedEx. They're conveniently located at the corner of Heil and 4th Street in El Centro, and if you need something notarized, they can do that too. You can count on Southwest Security and Southwest Postal for 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
We'll have sunny skies today with a high near 69, north wind 5 to 15 miles an hour, with gusts as high as 20 miles an hour. Mostly clear tonight with a low around 43, west wind about 5 miles an hour. It'll be sunny on Friday with a high near 74 and light wind. 50 degrees, 33% relative humidity. Financial news and a brief look at the weather brought to you by Southwest Security. They offer 24-hour-a-day post boxes. Southwest Postal at the corner of 4th and Heil in El Centro.
We're your new Ace Home Convenience stores, built for the Imperial Valley. Our helpful folks know you've got everyday things you need to take care of around the house, and not so everyday things around the ranch, farm, and plant. El Centro, Brawley, Holtville, now open and fully stocked with the right tools and right advice for Imperial Valley. 3 great stores with people who know their stuff. Stop in, look around. We're looking forward to serving you.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
CBS News coming up. Hey, we've got local news on our website, kxoradio.com. Check it out.
The best oldies on the radio. KXO El Centro on AM 1230. KXO.
CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. For millions of Texans, a bad situation seems to be only getting worse.
I come to get water, and they're closed. So I'm going to have to go somewhere else.
Water and food hard to find in some places. Added misery amid the power outages and cold temps. Utility officials now say the number of outages in Texas has dropped below 500,000 customers. But it's a costly disaster still unfolding.
Insurance adjusters are still tallying damage, but the Insurance Council of Texas's Camille Garcia says people have already filed hundreds of thousands of claims.
We haven't seen anything like this before, where one large event hits the entire state.
The council does not have a damage estimate yet because Garcia says pipes will keep bursting for several more weeks. She says this storm may prompt even more damage claims than Hurricane Harvey, which led to 763,000 insurance claims totaling $19 billion in Texas in 2017. Alan Skaya for CBS News, Dallas.
Well, the latest storm system to roll through that region is now blitzing the Northeast with snow. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy.
The expected heavy rate of precipitation will make travel treacherous in many areas, and we encourage everyone to stay in.
The bad weather's impacting COVID vaccine deliveries in some places and has forced some vaccination sites to close or limit hours. As CBS's Jennifer Kuiper tells us, the pandemic gets the blame for a sharp drop in life expectancy in this country.
Life expectancy dropped a full year in the first half of 2020. That according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which says minorities suffered the biggest impact, with Black Americans losing nearly 3 years and Hispanics nearly 2 years. You have to go back to World War II to find a decline like this.
Well, NASA's Perseverance rover is just hours away from a planned landing on Mars. CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood says its job is to collect rocks and bring them back.
It's precisely on track for a 7-minute descent to the floor of an ancient crater that once held a 28-mile-wide lake and possibly microbial life.
Well, the goal is to get the gathered Earth in 10 years.
The government says first-time claims for jobless benefits rose last week to 861,000. Economist Joel Neroff.
It rose last week somewhat moderately, but that is not the whole story. What looked like a solid decline the week before was revised upward sharply, and the continued increase in the latest data points not to an improving labor market situation, but a potential softening in hiring.
Well, some states have been looking into whether fraud has been causing a boost in the numbers. Former Senator and Republican Vice Presidential candidate Bob Dole says on Twitter he'll begin treatment for stage 4 lung cancer next week. He is 97. The Dow is down 234. This is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
This financial update is sponsored by Indeed.
The private sector is now feeling the harsh impact of the pandemic as ADP reports a drop in private payrolls for the first time since April. Companies dropped 123,000 jobs in December, while economists had predicted an increase of at least 60,000. The negative turn comes after 7 consecutive months of growth. Viennetta frozen ice cream cakes will return to stores this year. The decadent dessert is made up of a frozen vanilla base intertwined among chocolate layers molded into cake form. It's one of 25 new treats announced by parent company Unilever. Viennetta bills itself as portion for an entire family, but sharing is always optional.
With Indeed, there's no waiting for real results. Indeed searches through the millions of resume database to deliver great candidates who fit your job description instantly. Claim your $75 credit towards your first upgraded post at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
A home that might be familiar to many movie fans is about to undergo some changes.
No word on the breakfast menu.
I ate his with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
The home used to film Silence of the Lambs will be turned into a B&B. A New York theatrical art director has purchased the Victorian outside Pittsburgh for $290,000. It has many of the original features, including vintage wallpaper, hardwood floors, and the same yellowish brick fans saw in the 30-year-old movie with Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Reports say the NFL has increased the salary cap to a minimum of $180 million for next season. The League and Players Association had previously set a lower number because of revenue losses incurred during the pandemic. The salary cap was $198 million last season. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
And now, more of the best oldies on the radio with Carroll Buckley.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
AM 1230 KXO.